Hey you! This week I'm gonna make a collage. So, in the course of my week, I saw this YouTube artist called Art with M, and she does these beautiful hand painted paper collages. She hand paints the paper and then she cuts them into collages and she makes illustrations with them. And I thought they were so great, I wanted to give myself a hand at it. And so, I went looking for reference and I thought that that goose would be a wonderful inspiration. And so the one on the right's the inspiration, and then there's the one on the left that I did with cut paper that I had painted beforehand. And like honestly, does that not look like it could be just another painting? And I thought that that was so great. Uh, my style's completely different than the lady who inspired me to do this. You should check her out. She's got a really cool illustrative style of her own. So I went and found another inspiration piece. This little rabbit eating popcorn came from one of my sketchbooks. It's a messy sketchbook. And the paper really can't handle much more than just like a line drawing on them. And so what I use it for is to break down an idea. And a lot of them I can pretty much just trace and turn into final pieces because that's how my art flow goes. My sketches are change very little often. Okay, so you're gonna see a lot of footage of me coloring the outline on this purple rabbit, and the reason is I have a instrument that is entirely too small for the project, but I am actually coloring the side of the paper because paper is a 3D object, even though it isn't very thick, it still has an edge. And if you don't address that edge, especially when you get to like white paper and you want to put it on a dark background, that edge of the paper will really stand out if you don't address it. And that is one of like my very few art hacks or tips that I feel particularly proud of knowing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about as we are transferring the images from, one type of paper to the scrap of paper that I wanted to use is the Le Pen. I have really been enjoying them. They are, like that felt pen type of material. And the lovely thing about them is that they are colored. But when you put water on them, they don't instantly feather or smudge or bleed or anything like that. And as somebody who really enjoys using watercolor and gouache, I am so excited about having the opportunity to use a drawing implement that isn't just gonna instantaneously read and change from the intention that I had with it. I haven't gone through all of my Le Pens because I got distracted by something else. But as soon as I find out, I can upload a little reel and show you how they deal with water, if that is something that you are interested with as well as I am. Okay, so I am doing the corn out of leftovers from the Goose Project. Y'all need to. I am new to this but paper painted collage technique. And if there's any collage artists out of there, y'all need to let me know some things. Like, how small is too small of a piece of paper to save? Like, how crazy do you go? In my YouTube watching after I saw the artist painting with M, I went on a deep dive and watched a whole bunch of artists. And the only person who was really excited about their painted paper setup was this lady who had ginormic tubs filled with paper. There were like 56 quart containers in every color of the rainbow, and that seems much to me. So if y'all have like a good sensible solution, leave it in the comments for me, and also let me know what your boundaries are and how you keep your paper cutting in check, because I feel like it could go down a slippery slope, and I'm quite taken with this technique, and I feel like I might want to do more of these, but I definitely want to crowdsource and know what y'all do. So just leave me a note in the comments. Okay, as I do the painted line work, because the pens didn't have the right color for me, I'm gonna start talking about glue. In this project, am using my Elmer's glue stick, and the reason I have them is because they are real easy to clean up after. You can find them anywhere and they're fairly cheap, especially in back to school season. However, the thing that I struggle with them is that they work best if you put a layer of glue on the substrate that you're going to glue down to, and then you put on top of the piece of paper that you're going to glue to the substrate. And I don't love that. Because I don't always remember it, and sometimes there's areas where I'm scared that I'm gonna overshoot the glue, and I have had instances where I've had like purple ghosting or like glue ghosts left behind. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened enough that I am hesitant about doing it in certain applications. Let me talk to you about that plate. Plate is just for art. This is one of my mini soap boxes. Don't mix your art supplies with food supplies. This plate is just for paint. I got them at a yard sale, a whole stack of them for 50 cents. It was at the end of the day, and I told her what I was using them for, and she gave me a great deal on them, because she's like, I'd rather see them go to a home than throw them out. So there's that. But paints have heavy metals in them and toxic chemicals, unless you get supplies that specifically say non-toxic. And so I love the plates for the fact that they are reusable, they're easy to clean up, and they were very affordable. And the fact that I feel good also that I wasn't going to like take them from another person who could have really used them. It was inherently trash, and they cut back on making trash. So there's that little soapbox concluded. And I think the only other thing that I really want to talk about is I had so much fun painting on top of this cut paper collage with the gouache. I'm not gonna lie, it took forever to get that shade of purple to where I thought that it was going to be a really soft, sweet, gentle shadow for that little bunny rabbit. These paints are inherently, they're not old familiar friends to me, so I'm still learning a lot about them, so I'm so much slower with them than I am with like any Winsor Newton project, because those are the paints that I grew up with. And so, when you're watching YouTube artists, just, some areas in this has been sped up by like 2,000%. And so if you find that it takes you a real long time to mix stuff, or to cut stuff, or draw stuff, don't feel bad. It takes me that time too. Except I speed it up, and sometimes I even edit it out. And that is okay. Don't feel bad about it. You do you. You'll get faster as you go. And I've been doing this as my passion for most of my life, and I am still really slow in comparison to a lot of other artists I know. But that's how I work, and I can't magically twitch my nose and make me somebody else. Which, as I've gotten older, I'm glad that I didn't have that option because Lord knows my taste was terrible back in the day. Um, so this is taking forever because I had to plug in my camera, and I thought that I would leave this last little bit and then the glamour shots in to make sure that I had plenty of time to do my closing stuff. I always rush at the end. I want to make sure to thank you so much for visiting with me today, hanging out. Um, that I would love for you to write a comment. It really makes my day. And I can't wait to see you guys next time. I love y'all so much. Bye.